Hello, and you're all very welcome along to another episode of the Gaelic Statsman podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Hurley, and I'm joined tonight by Liam White from the Offaly Express, from the Limerick Voice as well, and a few other outlets. I'm delighted to have Liam on to talk about the games this weekend. And it is the last preview show of 2024 as well. So, yeah, a lot to get stuck into before Christmas. Christmas is coming up, but the action doesn't stop in Gaelic games, not the club scene anyway. Before we get started, I'd like to mention our sponsors at Capture Athletics. If you want to get the best gear around, check them out if you haven't already. So yeah, Liam, we're coming into the All-Ireland semi-finals now in the Hurling Club Championship. The football semi-finals are going to be after Christmas, after New Year's as well. So yeah, have you enjoyed the hurling so far?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me on, Matthew. Great to be here. Yeah, no, it's been a great season. It's been a very interesting championship. You know, there's been so many surprises, so many shocks in both the hurling and football. I mean, like, who could have predicted last month that the Kilkenny champions would be losing by 11 points to the Westmeath champions? Who would have thought, you know, the Connacht football champions would be the Sligo champions? You know, who could have foreseen Ballygunner falling apart in the Munster final? You know, it's been fantastic, and I suppose from my own personal experience, obviously we got to the Leinster final, Kilcormac, but just fell short in the end. But yeah, no, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been brilliant. Couldn't watch last weekend's football finals because of electricity being gone all weekend. But apart from that, no, I've really enjoyed it. It's been I think this year's club championship now has been absolutely excellent, to be honest.
Brilliant, all right. Like, would you rate this probably been the best club championship across both codes in the last few seasons? Because you look at the amount of names coming out in football. You have Clonlara, Strathnill, Cool have won the Leinster and Dublin for the first time. And like out of the 8 champions in senior, out of the provincial champions, I think only Dr. Crokes have been relative All-Ireland finalists over the last few seasons. Loughrea reached the final in 2007 in the All-Ireland, but the rest of the teams, six teams, have never reached the All-Ireland final before. Like this weekend, Slaughtneil or Sars will definitely be a new All-Ireland finalist. So will Cool and Coolera Stranded in the football. So this club championship more or less has been probably the most entertaining in the last decade or so.
Yeah, and I certainly think for neutrals it's been fantastic, you know, to see new clubs coming through, and like, you know, even from like the Fianna's sake, you know, losing the Leinster final last year, getting back this year, first time Leinster champions. And like you said, even though Loughrea have been in the final before, they've never won it. You know, like the fact that this weekend we have 4 teams in the hurling who have never won the All-Ireland is quite remarkable, to be honest with you. And then, yeah, like you mentioned, the football, I'd say probably apart from Dr. Crokes, like, you know, as soon as Port Pierce's were in the Connacht final, I presumed myself that they were going to go on and probably maybe challenge Coola to win the All-Ireland, or possibly Dr. Crokes, and they're gone. You know, I thought Kilmacud could have gotten through after what they did to Scottstown, and then just bam, gone. So yeah, no, I think it's been one of the best, and it's been a great advertisement as well, because we had a great intercounty hurling season. It was a tough watch football season, I'm not going to lie, but I think the club scene has been brilliant, and it's hopefully going to continue now on this road for the next number of years.
Definitely so, yeah. And the football rules have passed, so hopefully Gaelic football will improve next season. We'll have to see how that all transpires. But firstly, as always, we'll look at the weekend, the Gaelic games, and we'll start off on a sad note. Obviously, Jody Gormley, the former Truagh manager, passed away this week at the age of 53. The former Red Hand midfielder, the former Tyrone midfielder, was most recently managing Truagh and guided them to back-to-back Tyrone Senior Football Championship finals, winning one in 2023 against Kilkerrin and then narrowly losing to the same opposition this year. He informed his Truagh players after the defeat to Errigal in October that he was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer. He said on a recent GA social podcast with the BBC's Thomas Niblock, "I have no fear of dying whatsoever. I've felt blessed in my entire life." And obviously condolences to Jody's family, to Tyrone GA community and the Truagh community as well. He fought hard, Liam, but yeah, it's a terrible disease, obviously cancer. And yeah, RIP to Jody, and condolences to his family.
Yeah, it's extremely sad, and even when you think of it, you had Damien Casey dying earlier this year as well. So it's been a really, really tough year for everyone involved with Tyrone GA, and especially something like cancer, you know, is detrimental. And yeah, no, it's extremely, extremely sad. Too young, 53 is no age to be going at all. And yeah, look, and it was a very big funeral. Jarlath Burns was at it, and many of his former teammates. So yeah, no, very, very sad, especially coming up to Christmas as well. This is not the type of news you want to be reporting on, or the type of news you want to be hearing. But yeah, no, that was a great quote that he said, you know, and it just shows that, look, at the end of the day, we love GA, but at the end of the day, your life comes first, and it's going to be a tough Christmas for his family. But yeah, may rest in peace, and condolences to all the family.
Exactly. So, and yeah, it is the worst time more than anything to lose a family member coming so close to Christmas time. Absolute condolences to the Gormley family, to the Trillic players as well. Like, it must have been tough to hear that after their defeat to Errigal in the Tyrone final, that he was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer. Like, it's tough to take, obviously, and condolences to the Tyrone GA community, the Gormley family, friends, and the Trilly team, obviously. Condolences to Jody Gormley's family there. Look at the other bits of news this week is the RT Sports Awards. That's happening this Sunday as well, with loads of athletes that have done well across the whole island of Ireland. When you look at across many sports like Olympic Games, soccer, rugby, and there is a few Gaelic Games nominees. The only Gaelic Games nominee for Sports Person of the Year was Shane O'Donnell for the Clare Hurlers. He was obviously the Hurler of the Year this year, the GPA Hurler of the Year. So Shane O'Donnell, congratulations to him for getting nominated. He's up against tough competition though. He's up against Kelly Harrington, Daniel Whiffen, Paul O'Donovan, Rhys McClenaghan, Rashida Adeleke, Ciara McGeehan, Katie George Dunleavy, Roisin Ní Rian, Katie Taylor, Anthony Kakake, if I pronounce that correctly, and Paul Townend. So that's a very, very tough list for Shane to win, obviously, but it's great that he is nominated. For Manager of the Year, actually, all 4 All-Ireland winning managers were announced as nominees. Ciara McGeady, Brian Lowe, and Ger Manley, and the duo of Declan Quill and Darragh Long were all nominated for Manager of the Year, alongside Andy Farrell, Willie Mullins, Aidan O'Brien, and Damien Duff. And then for Team of the Year, all 4 All-Ireland champions were nominated for that award, and those were obviously the Armagh footballers, the Clare Hurlers, the Kerry LGFA team, and the Cork Camogie team, and they're nominated alongside the Shelburne soccer team, the Irish rugby team, the duo of Paul O'Donovan and Fintan McCarthy, the duo of Katie George Dunleavy and Linda Kelly, and the 4x400 relay team with Rashida Adeleke, Charlie Maudsley, Chris O'Donnell, and Thomas Barr. So there's a lot of Gaelic Games nominees there, Liam. It's going to be hard to see how any of them win, considering the Olympics, the success that Ireland got this year in particular. But it is great that we're getting a lot of nominees, especially with Shane O'Donnell getting nominated for the whole award.
I think it's only fair. I don't think you could have an RT Sports award ceremony without some bit of recognition for Gaelic Games, no matter what. Like, and look, Shane O'Donnell had a fantastic year for Clare. There's no point disputing that. It's funny, the All-Ireland final, I felt he wasn't at his best, but even before that, everything he'd done was sensational. He had a great performance against Cork in the round robin series. He was brilliant against Limerick in the round robin series, brilliant against Waterford, and just his overall presence was fantastic. Now, some people will say he gets away a lot with steps or whatever, breaking through tackles or whatever, but no, he's one of my favorite players now, and I love watching him play. I can't see him winning it when you look at Rhys McClenaghan and Kelly Harrington, especially the O'Donovan brothers. I think it will be a bit more difficult for him to win Sports Person of the Year, but like you said, it is great that there is someone there from it. In terms of Team of the Year, I'll be honest with you, I think Damien Duff will probably get Manager of the Year, and I wouldn't be surprised if Shelburne got Team of the Year. I think I kept up a good bit this year with the League of Ireland. Athlone Town would be my local club in League of Ireland, but Damien Duff, the job he'd done, the passion he kind of brought to Irish football was fantastic. So I actually think he'd be well within his rights. But at the same time, I mean, people from Armagh, I mean, they might argue that he might be a deserving recipient, you know, to take down Kerry in the All-Ireland semi-finals, to rectify, was it 3 in a row they lost in Ulster finals, and to come and win an All-Ireland final. And a lot of people sort of, well, not writing them off, but thinking Galway, after taking down Dublin, after taking down Donegal, they had Shane Walsh, they had Damon Comer, they had all these guys, and they shut them up, you know, and they had a fantastic All-Ireland final to win. And, you know, some people might say that he might deserve it, but and in terms of Team of the Year, I think if Limerick had won 5 in a row, I think they could easily have been given Team of the Year just for that achievement in itself, considering it's never been done in football before. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Armagh or Clare did win it, because like at the start of the year, not many people would have predicted Armagh to win the All-Ireland or even to get to the All-Ireland final. And some people maybe felt that Clare, in my opinion, if you'd said to me at the start of the year who would have been in the All-Ireland final, I would have probably said Limerick, and probably I would have said Kilkenny again. I thought, or maybe at a stretch, I would have probably said Cork. I thought Clare might have been maybe 4th or 5th favourites to get there, but they took down Kilkenny, and the All-Ireland final I was at it myself. It was one of the best. It was actually arguably the best match I've ever been to. To watch it in person. Probably should have gone to a replay. Probably was a bit unfair to have it played in extra time. But yeah, no, Clare. I think if Clare were to win it now, I certainly wouldn't be against it, or Armagh, to be fair. But what Shelburne achieved this year, the O'Donovan brothers, what they achieved, I think it'd be a small bit more difficult. But it is great to see them all being nominated in some way here.
It definitely is. My pick would probably be Paul O'Donovan, Vincent McCarthy, probably being a West Cork man. I just absolutely love them in action, obviously. And it's about time Paul O'Donovan won a sports person of the year. He hasn't won one yet, which is absolutely incredible. But obviously that's going away from Gaelic games. That's growing. Like the Kerry LGFA team are definitely up there. Like the way they won that All-Ireland final against Galway, the way they went throughout the whole season as well. Clare was an excellent show. Obviously, they won the league. They didn't win Munster, obviously, but they won the league and they won the championship double. Like, that's a very hard thing to do, obviously. So, and the fact as well, they won the All-Ireland in probably one of the best hurling seasons in living memory. And a lot of people point towards the Cork wins over Limerick, but at the end of the day, Clare won it. So I think Clare are definitely up there for Team of the Year, definitely. I know I get your point at Shelburne, definitely, and the Paul O'Donovan, Vincent McCarthy definitely deserve it in the rowing as well. But I wouldn't be shocked if Clare would. Maybe a bit shocked if Armagh do it, in all honesty. When you look at their run maybe to the All-Ireland this year, Roscommon was maybe easy enough in the quarters. Yes, they beat Kerry in the semi-final, and they got over final. It was probably one of the worst All-Ireland finals to watch in history. So I'd be kind of shocked if Armagh won it, but Clare wouldn't be shocked at all.
Yeah, I remember watching that All-Ireland football final on holidays in Spain, and I think I was with my girlfriend. I think we looked at each other and we said, "We're on holidays. We're supposed to be enjoying ourselves, and we're watching this." It was fairly poor. Now I think my own father was at it, and I think he said he nearly left at halftime. It was that bad, but. Yeah, no, that is fair about Clare. Like, they did win the league. And listen, they lost the Munster final, but they got to a Munster final. So overall, it was an excellent year for them. So yeah, and listen, Kerry deservedly won the All-Ireland Ladies Football Championship. There's no question about that, as with the Cork Camogie team as well. But yeah, no, look, I wouldn't be shocked if Clare maybe did win it, but I just feel, like you said, O'Donovan McCarthy would be probably a bit more likely to win it, considering what they've achieved on an international level. And I think what Shelburne did this year was unbelievable. But look, the fact that we're even mentioning that Clare could be absolutely in the running for it is an achievement in itself.
It definitely is, and best of luck, obviously, to the Gaelic Games nominees on Sunday evening. So we'll crack on into the games, though. It's starting off with the first All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship semi-final in club level. Chronologically, it is Slaughtneil for Derry against Sarsfields from Cork, live on TG Carr on Sunday at 1:30 in Kedrell St. Conleth's Park in Newbridge in County Kildare. Obviously, you know the drill yourselves, lads. I'm part of the Stars backroom team, so I can't say much on my opinions on the game. But Liam, I'll let you take it away with this one. Either side, whoever wins this will be in their first All-Ireland final in history. So it's great to have the novelty of it in many ways. And it's going to be actually a close game to call, really. Yeah,
well, I know you're obviously in a difficult position with this one due to your work, so I'll do my best to preview it for you. Yeah, the opening game of the weekend on TG Carr, I'm very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a cracker of a game, mostly because, I'll be honest, I'm delighted to see a new team from Munster going forward into the All-Ireland series. Like, Stars had a big win over Ballygunner a few weeks ago, and it was incredible. It was fantastic to see, not just from a Cork hurling perspective, because obviously Cork club hurling senior level definitely needed this win after so long of, was it 2016 the last time there was a win for a club side in Cork? Glen Rovers, I believe, was it?
Or it was against Patrickswell in 2016, yeah.
Yeah. But I think just from a neutral one too, for me, look, I've nothing personally against Ballygunner. Listen, they've won 11 in a row in Waterford. They were going for a 4th in a row in Munster, and that's an achievement in itself. And they had won in All Ireland 2 years ago. But I just felt like they'd underachieved a lot for a number of years. I just feel they only won one All Ireland, and they had to win it in the last minute against a very good Ballyhale team, but they had to win it in the last minute, And listen, they have a lot of incredible players. They absolutely do. But for me, anyways, I was seeing the odds massively in their favour, and some people just assuming that they'll stroll away, win the All Ireland, especially when you looked at Ballyhale being gone, O'Loughlin Gales being gone, and some of the other big teams as well. And some people think that they'll just stroll their way. But Sarsfields were full credit for their win in that Munster final. There's no question about that. You dragged them into a dogfight, which they didn't want. You were strong, played nice, slick hurling, and took your chances when they came to you. I mean, Shane O'Regan claiming 2-3 off the bench was just simply remarkable. He was like a man possessed coming on. Like, to make that sort of an impact in not only the biggest game of the season, but probably his biggest game of the season as well, and like it was incredible. Obviously, people questioning the first goal. Did he take too many steps? Did he not? But at the end of the day, you won by 4 points. It wouldn't have made that much of a difference, and that's not the reason why. You won it because you were better than them. So you were hungrier and more determined than Ballygunner, particularly after losing the county final to McKilly. To come back from that sort of heartbreak and take down both Fecal and Ballygunner is unbelievable. And I've had the opportunities to watch Sarsfields a few times this year myself. My own club, we played you in a few challenge matches this year, and I was impressed by how well you were set up and how difficult you made it for us, for teams to create chances and take their scores. A big physical team as well that Johnny Crowley has put together. Daniel Hogan, Jack O'Connor. I really like the look of him. I think he's a super, super player. He's certainly someone who I think could really be pushing for a spot in Cork next year, or at least I certainly think he can be anyways. And yeah, I mean, when you've got the likes of Daniel Carney and Conor Sullivan as well, it's a really solid outfit. And with the confidence of winning Munster and taking down the bookies' favourites, I can honestly see Sarsfields pulling it off this Sunday. I genuinely can. Now, look, the only thing is that this is a championship. We said it just before we came on. It's been a championship with many surprises. We've seen many shocks in this year's championship. No, I'm not saying Slaughtneil winning would be a shock, and certainly not winning Ulster was definitely not a shock. They've won it loads of times, but they are going into this clash as slight underdogs, and that might suit them a bit more than being red hot favourites. I don't know why. Sometimes being underdogs kind of suits a team. And I mean, we kind of said it as well earlier that Slaughtneil, the team we get this Sunday, it's hard to know what one you're going to get. Are you going to get the team that scored, was it 134 out of 136 for play against Rory O'Cushendall, or are we going to get the team that played against Portaferry, which was very, very poor? Like, I'll be honest, I thought Portaferry actually had the game won when they were 8 points up with 15 minutes to go. And then, especially when they got their goal on the 55th minute to put them 2 points in front, I genuinely thought then that they were going to kick on and seal the victory. But to Slaughtneil's credit, they dug it out. They got the win, and they showed why they're Ulster champions. And they will go into this clash with their tails up and fully believing that they can reach an All-Ireland final. But they will need their big men to step up massively. Cormac O'Doherty, Brendan Rodgers, Jack Cassidy, Conor Doyle, Shane McGuigan, it will be a dogfight, which it might ironically probably suit both sides, but I just think Sars will have enough to see off them. I think they're set up very well. The form of their forwards is honestly through the roof at the moment. And plus, after winning Munster, it was a month or so after losing Cork, I just think they'll be going to get to Croker. And for me, I mean, I'm kind of spoiling already. I think it'll be a Sarsfields Nafina final. I think it'll be Cork versus Dublin final, which would be, for me, a very tasty encounter. But at the same time, this championship is very much wide open, and I would not be shocked if it ended up being a Loughrea Slaughtneil final, which would also be a very, very good final as well. But yeah, and especially with none of these clubs having won an All-Ireland before, I think it'll be the Cork side coming through.
Interesting prediction there from Liam, definitely. Obviously, I can't make a prediction there. That was a brilliant summary of the game. I think that was a long time, to be fair, Liam. So brilliant, and you put in the prediction as well. So Liam says Sars will win them this game on Sunday, but we'll have to see what happens in that. The other game on Sunday is at 3:30 in it's FBD Semple Stadium in Thurles. It is the Fianna from Dublin against Loughrea from Galway. That's on Sunday at 3:30 on TG Carr. Obviously, your own club, Kilkerrin, unfortunately for you, he lost out to the Fianna in Croke Park in that Leinster final. Just asking you on the Fianna first, what are their strengths and what can get them over the line in this game on Sunday in the semi-final?
Well, obviously, I wish we were going to Thurles on Sunday, but unfortunately not. But look, Na Fianna just simply against us they were bigger, they were stronger, and I mean the truth is that a lot of people, and including myself, we thought that maybe Croke Park could suit our young lads. You know, obviously, look, the likes of Adam Screeney played well there, and Charlie Minchell got a couple of points, and Conor Mahan did well there, etc. But Na Fianna just overall used the length and the width of Croke Park to their advantage. You know, Sean Curry was absolutely sensational. Donald Burke just ripped us apart. You know, like they shouted at me at one point, like, how many times has he touched the ball? I think I said 4 times. And how many scores has he got? 3. And I just thought, oh God, you know, just no matter what we try to do, he just found himself in space so much. And like, he's not been firing on all cylinders all season, but that day he just turned it up to 11. You know, he's shooting every time he got the ball and he took a shot, it was going over the bar. There was no doubt about it. And yeah, listen, they have a lot of exceptional players. I mean, Donald Burke, Sean Curry, Brian Ryan in the middle as well is a big powerhouse as well. AJ Murphy at full forward is a very, very difficult man to stop. He's very, very quick on his feet. And I mean, Jack Maher as well, who took me really, I knew he was a good player, but he really took me by surprise the last day. His fitness levels were through the roof. You know, he was up and down, up and down, up and down. Shooting was really good. He's really good young future ahead of him. Liam Rush as well, you know, he's a big factor as well, big solid unit at centre back. Colin Curry the last day probably wasn't at his best. His free taking was good. From open play, maybe he was a bit quieter than he could have been, but he didn't need to have the best game. Everyone else kind of stepped up. You know, he has stepped up all season for them. So, yeah, I suppose I've had the advantage of watching a load of their games this season. We played them in a challenge match earlier on this year as well, and their usage of the ball is unbelievable. They hunt in packs. They don't let you breathe for a second. Like I said, they're a big physical commanding team. And I think what's more impressive about them is their calmness. You know, bearing in mind, look, I've watched that Dublin final back that they played against Kilmacud so many times, and I still don't know how Kilmacud didn't win it. They had them essentially bet after 15 minutes, but in the end they didn't. You know, Na Fianna, they kept calm. They got a penalty, and Donald Burke dispatched it in the second half. They kept going, they kept grinding, and then they came up with a goal in the final minute, and from Kieran Stacey, which won it for them. And the confidence they got from that was unbelievable. They went and played Clock Balacolla, bet them fairly comprehensively, got the job done over St. Martin's. Even they were a point down with 7 minutes to go. Quick little few plays, and next minute, bang, balls in the back of the net, game over. So look, their build-up play and everything is unbelievable. And obviously 2 weeks ago in Croke Park, they were ultimately the better side over ourselves in the Leinster decider. We can't have any complaints. We were second best on the day, unfortunately, but they were fully worth their 6-point win. So I think they'll be looking at this weekend as a massive opportunity. You know, this to reach an All-Ireland final. It's very open, and you know, for me, they'll fancy the chances, but it won't be simple. Like, Loughrea will no doubt want to absolutely spoil the Dublin party.
They absolutely would. And even, like, I did a few scores for defeat in their Dublin Championship and their Leinster campaign combined. Colin Curry scored 483 in those games. That's absolutely exceptional. It's only, but to be honest, like 69 of them were placed balls. So, like he scores a lot of frees, but he is the main scorer for, like, Donald Burke. You mentioned how good he was. He's their third top scorer in all competitions this season. When you look at the championship, AJ Murphy and Colin Curry are both ahead of them. And then you have players like Gavin King up there. Kieran Stacey scored 5 goals across the campaign as well. Sean Curry, amazing hurler as he is, he's still down in 8th in their scores charts as well. Does that epitomise the quality that Na Fianna have all over the pitch as well?
Oh, it does. And like, Sean Curry is, like, his scoring might not be maybe as impressive as some of the other lads, but his work rate is off the charts, and he's able to pick a ball from midfield, and he's able to drive 30-40 yards, lay a ball off, get himself a couple of assists, and break up tackles, win a ball in the air. It's and especially at this time of the year, you need your free taker to be on point, but you also need to be fighting like dogs. You know, this isn't like during the summer, you know, you can play your nice crisp hurling on a nice surface, you know, in Parnell Park or O'Connor Park or Parky Keeve, etc. But in the winter time, you need to be fighting for every single ball. You need to be taking belts. You need to be taking hits. You need to be, you know, getting the face of another lad, you know. And he's been well able to do that this year, you know. So yeah, no, look, their firepower all across the pitch is unbelievable, and the fact that they're not just relying on one man as well is crucial as well. You know, they're not just relying on Donald Burke. They have Colin Curry, they have AJ Murphy, sorry. You know, Jack Maher, you know, so Kieran Stacey, like you mentioned, 5 goals is fantastic, you know. So yeah, no, they're overall their team is very, very good. Their squad is exceptional. And now look, Loughrea won't fear them. That's a matter of a fact. You know, that no Galway team fears anyone coming out of you know, Leinster, Munster or Ulster. You know, they'd love to replicate what St. Thomas's did last year, or what St. Thomas's did in 2013. Again, unfortunately against my club. But yeah, no, I saw them in the Galway final against Capitagle. Capitagle, they put it up to them. They absolutely did. Capitagle would have definitely came away from that game thinking we should have won that. We could have won that, you know. I believe they got the last couple of scores in the game. They made it interesting, and it was on a tight pitch as well in Athenry, you know, whereas this game, it's in Thurles, isn't it? So, like, they're going to have a lot more space. So, I mean, it's going to be, for the likes of Sean Curry and Donald Burke, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be like heaven for them, you know. But if Loughrea can just stop their influences out on the wings and through the middle, then they have an absolutely great opportunity here. I mean, and sure, when you look at some of the players they do have, I mean, Tiernan Clean, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's been brilliant all season with his sharp shooting as well. Anthony Burns has been absolutely sensational in front of goals, much like Kieran Stacey. He'll take some stopping if he's true on goal. I mean, Johnny Cohen's one of the best Galway hurlers of all time. You know, was part of the Galway team that won the All-Ireland in 2017. Gearóid Loughnane saved a penalty in the final as well, so he'll be someone that they'll have to beat, which won't be simple. The only worry I would have for Loughrea is, and I kind of do say this every year with Galway teams, is not having played a championship game since November 10th. You know, now I'm sure they did get some challenge matches if they could have. You know, it's obviously a bit more difficult at this time of the year, but, and I know St. Thomas's obviously last year went on to win the All-Ireland after, you know, not playing Connacht or anything like that. And I know they do run the Galway Championship a bit later, but the Fianna have had the benefit of playing 3 weekends in a row against the champions of Laois, Wexford and Offaly, you know, and 3 good games as well. So I just feel like that will stand to them a bit more than Loughrea. Of course, Loughrea can look at this and say they've had time to recover, they've had time to get lads fit, and I don't know, they might possibly have gotten a couple of challenge games in, like I said. But I just think the Fianna, having had numerous weekends of fast-paced, hard-hitting action, it could stand to them a bit better in Thurles this weekend. But at the same time, you know, having a bit of time off might do no harm either. So it is a 50-50 game. It absolutely is. But I can see Fianna maybe just getting the job done. It could be something like, I don't know, 118 to 115 game or something like that, you know, but I can see Fianna being in being in control of the game for the large majority of it.
Interesting, you mentioned Gearóid Loughnane, the goalkeeper there for Loughrea. They've only conceded 3 goals in 6 games. So that probably epitomises that they are very strong defensively, and he is a very tough goalkeeper to beat. Oh, sorry, that's 4 goals, not 3 goals. But still, that's a very, very good record to have. They've only conceded 2 goals to Clonbridge, 1 in separate games against them. To Boycullen and to Crockwell, they didn't concede a goal against Castlegar or Capitagle as well. So they are a very tough opponent, and they did beat the slayers of the All-Ireland champions in St. Thomas's. So it may be a situation that most people have seen the Fianna, obviously, in the flesh, in Leinster finals, in games against Kilmacud Crokes in Dublin, in the final on RT, and then on YouTube in Dublin as well, whereas many people may not have seen Loughrea before. So is there a chance that Loughrea will just shock the public and produce this kind of a performance to showcase their skills?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like I said, I would not be shocked if Loughrea won this weekend. Even if we'd won the Leinster final, I'd be going into this weekend still a small bit concerned, you know, because like Galway Hurling, all the champions that they bring out of there, no matter who comes out of there, I know St. Thomas's have dominated for the last number of years, but no matter who comes out of Galway, it's going to be tough. If Capitagle came out of Galway, I'd be saying the exact same thing, and probably even more so with them because it would have been their first title, you know. But like Loughrea have only won 3 titles, and they have the experience of getting to an All-Ireland final before. Obviously, probably won't have a large majority of the lads who got there now, but like they do have that small bit of experience. And listen, you know, Loughrea, absolutely, I wouldn't even call it a shock if they did beat Fianna this weekend, you know. I suppose the only other thing that I could sway towards Fianna is, I believe I was even doing it in my head there the last couple of minutes, I think since 2010, hasn't there been a a Leinster champion in every single All-Ireland final, I believe. I think
so, yeah.
I think when you look back, Kildare and ourselves in 2012 and 13 from Offaly, 2014 was Mount Leinster Rangers, 2015 was Ballyhale, 16, 17 was Coola, 18, 19, 20, 22 was Ballyhale, and 23 was Loughnane Gael. So from that perspective, it favours Na Fianna, but records are there to be broken. You know, they're there to be shattered. So if I'm sure the rest of the country would love nothing more than to see anyone but a Leinster club in an All-Ireland final. But yeah, no, Loughrea could absolutely do the job in them this weekend. And listen, Colin Curry up against the likes of Johnny Cohen or stuff like that, that sounds very mouth-watering, to be honest. Or he could pick up AJ Murphy, you never know. But yeah, no, I think Loughrea though they'll have to stop Donald Burke. That's 100% after the way he performed the last day. And I think if they can get a hold of Sean Curry as well, I think they have a great opportunity.
Who are you saying though? So you're backing the Fianna to go on and win the game?
I'm back in the Fianna. I think it'll be in the Fianna Sarsfields final. But at the same time, look, if it ended up being Slaughtneil and Loughrea or another final, I wouldn't be shocked either. It's the beauty of this season's championship.
Definitely is. I'll probably go for the Fianna to win the game as well. But yeah, that's the hurling semi-finals wrapped up. Well, there's intermediate and junior, just to mention them as well. On Saturday is the first of the intermediate semi-finals. It is Tyna Abbey Dunnery from Galway against Rathnor St. Anne's from Wexford. And that's on in Glenisco, Connor Park and Tullamore on Saturday, 14th of December at 1:30. And then on Sunday, it's Watercross Hill from Cork against Kerry Fogs from Antrim. That's on in Park Talton in Navan, County Meath on Sunday, 15th of December at 1:00. And then in the junior semi-finals, it is Russell Rovers against Ballinascreen. That's the Cork champions against Derry champions in the Downs on Saturday, 14th of December at 1 p.m. And then on the Sunday is a meeting between Askey of Sligo and St. Lachlan's of Kilkenny. That's at Ballinasloe on Sunday at 1 p.m. So best of luck to all of them in the 4 semi-finals there as well. So we'll move on to the LGFA final first of all. In the senior grade, it is Kilmacud Crokes from Dublin against Kilkerrin Clonberne from Galway. Kilkerrin Clonberne are going 4 in a row to win the All-Ireland on Saturday. This is on at 5 p.m. on TG Carr in Croke Park. So yeah, an interesting kind of a pairing, this one, Liam. Do you think Kilmacud Crokes could pull off the shock? I think a lot of people were predicting this will be the final pairing, but then a lot of people were saying Kilkerrin Clonberne will win it in the end. But having seen the Kilmacud Crokes absolutely battered Castleisland Desmonds in the semi-final, the Kerry champions, and Kilkerrin Clonberne struggled a bit against Clonlara and the Armagh champions in the semi-final, could we see a shock here?
Well, as the old saying says, semi-finals and finals are there for winning. So I suppose they wouldn't have minded struggling in a way. Maybe it was maybe they needed it just to get their house in order. Maybe. I think if I had to call it, it is a tricky one. But this game could go to extra time, or would it go to a replay if it was a draw?
I think it's going to be extra time. I might be corrected on that though.
Well, I think if it goes to extra time, I'm going to give the nudge to Kilmacud to just do it after extra time. I think it'll actually be a draw, but I think Kilmacud will just do it after extra time. I mean, look, it's been a great journey for the Galway side. It absolutely has. Like you said, going for 4 in a row. They've really shown a fantastic mental strength over the years, having won the last 3 All-Irelands, going for 4. I mean, they reached the All-Ireland final in 2019 as well, when they lost to Mourne Abbey. But to come back and win the next 3 is quite an achievement. And although this will be, without doubt, probably their toughest test yet, let's be honest, I think they'll be ready for this weekend. It's 50-50. It's a 50-50 game. I think every final, especially in the club championship, you have to say it's a 50-50 game. And I just feel like Kilmacud will go into this a lot hungrier because it is their first time going for it. It's kind of funny going into your first final, whether it's a county final or a Leinster final, All-Ireland final. We saw how hungry Ballygunner were to win a first All-Ireland final. I saw myself with Shinrone 2 years ago in Offaly, how hungry they were to win a first Offaly title. Na Fianna last year winning a first Dublin title. So sometimes going for your first title can galvanise a group, so much more than maybe if you're going for a 4th title in a row or a 5th title in a row, that whole energy that a community can bring. But look, Kilmacud were absolutely unbelievable in their in their semi-final. There's no question about that. To score 5-11 in a semi-final is outrageous, to be honest with you. Especially like you said against the Kerry champions. Niamh Cotter was unbelievable that they scoring 2-4. So yeah, I think Kilmacud will get the job done. But listen, look, Kilkerrin they won't stand off them. They're used to this kind of stage, so they have that experience, and they will try and use that to the best of their abilities. But yeah, no, if I had to call it now, I think it will go to extra time. I do actually think it will be a bit of a low scoring game. I know Kilmacud have a very strong full forward line, and they will take some stopping, but I could just see it being a bit tense, at times, because like I said, they're going for their first, the other crowd are going for, their fourth in a row. So it could be something like maybe 10 points each, but I could just see Kilmacud having that bit more off the bench, and that bit more fitness coming into extra time, and a bit more drive to go on and win it. But look, I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, if Kilkerrin and Clonberne got the win. But I think Kilmacud will actually get their first title, and I mean, they've been doing so much great stuff with the men's game over the last number of years that to do it in the women's game as well would be unbelievable for them.
It would be definitely. It's almost like the quadruple has to be completed when they do well in Camogie, because they've done well in hurling, they've done well in Gaelic football, obviously winning the All Ireland of the Gaelic football. It's time for another sport to step up as well. But I'd agree with you. I think Kilmacud will win this game as well. Like you mentioned, Niamh Cotter there. Laura McGee's an excellent player. Alva Davern is as well. Grace Coss, Kate Murray. Like there are some very good players in the Kilmacud team from not just Dublin but other counties up and down the country. It's not just the men's team that do it. It is the ladies team that do it as well. But yeah, it's a brilliant Kilmacud team, and I would be shocked as well if Kilkerrin and Clonberne do it. They have been absolutely brilliant with the Divley sisters. You have Ailish Morrissey there. You have the Ward sisters. They have been absolutely incredible over the last few years. The Nunes as well. But I just feel like Kilmacud will get over the line in this one and win their first ever All-Ireland title this weekend. And then to mention the other LGFA finals, it is Anna Down from Galway against Bennakerry Tinnerland from Carlow. That's on in Croke Park. That's the first of a double header in the LGFA finals in Croke Park. That's also live at TG Carr on Saturday at 3 p.m. And then the junior finals on at Parnell Park on Sunday between Mungret St. Paul's of Limerick and Downings of Donegal. That's on at 2 p.m. on Sunday the 15th of December. So finally we'll get on to the Camogie. The Camogie finals are on as well. And this is chronologically, this is the last game of 2024. So it is the Camogie All-Ireland final. It is Truagh Clonlara from Clare against Sarsfields from Galway. This is on at 4:15 p.m. on RT2. And I think Sarsfields are going for their fourth All-Ireland title in 6 years or something like that, which is absolutely incredible for them. They lost the All-Ireland final last year to Dixborough from Kilkenny, so they'll be desperate to get over the line this one. They have the likes of Orla McGrath, Siobhan McGrath, Niamh McGrath. They have all the McGraths, obviously. Michael Hopper McGrath's the manager, that's their dad as well. So it's all the McGraths in this Sarsfields team. So it's a very good team, obviously. Truagh Clonlara, they won the Munster title, beating Galter in the final, came through some very tough teams in Munster. Obviously, they have Anya Loughlin from Clare as well, who's a very prominent player in the Clare Camogie team as well. But it would be a shock, it's safe to say, Liam, if Truagh Clonlara get over the line this one. But would you expect Truagh Clonlara to put up a test, or do you think Sarsfields will win their, I think it's their fourth in 6 years?
Yeah, it's their fourth in 6 years. I believe it's their eighth final in 9 years, or their ninth final in 10 years, something like that. Something crazy. And yeah, listen, Truagh Clonlara, they will absolutely give it socks. They absolutely will. They'll see this weekend as a chance to just express themselves, because like you said, it is their first final. They're going, I mean, for Sarsfields, Croke Park is basically a second home for them at this point. It may as well be a home game for them. So and like, I suppose as well, when you look at their win over Lougheed Shamrocks, that was a very, very impressive victory, considering I think they were 2-1 to no score down after 5 minutes, to crawl that back and to win, I believe it was by a point in the end. I think it was 116 to 3-9 in the end, is just simply fantastic. And, they'll want to avenge last year's defeat. Losing an All-Ireland final is never nice, especially, when you're going into it as favourites. But listen, they can only focus on Sunday, because if they don't, then Clonlara will be lying there just waiting to pounce. And for them to take them down a tough side, and St. Vincent's, that was a very, very impressive victory for them as well. Like, they got the last 3 scores of the game from Anya Loughlin, Avian Marin and Becky Foley, and I think it'll be a good final for neutrals as well. The expansive grounds of Croke Park, will be fantastic for both of them. Like, I know the majority of the Clonlara team, or I believe actually probably all of the Clonlara team, have never played in Croke Park, or maybe they might have before, I'm not sure. But obviously for them it's a new experience and everything like that. But Yeah, I just think Sarsfields will be just a bit too strong. Like they've been in, it was in the last 5 years they've won 3 and lost 2 finals. You know, they have the experience of being at the very high and being at the very low. And you know, being in a losing dressing room in Croke Park is a bit more eerie than it actually seems than in any other stadium. You know, because you're just thinking, will we ever get back to this stage again? But look, Sarsfields have been very dominant in Galway. They've been very dominant in Connacht over the last number of years. They're the strongest team in Ireland, and I would be shocked. Well, not shocked, but I'd be truly taken aback if Truagh Clonlara did get the win this weekend. I just think when you have the likes of the McGraths, when you have Laura Wood, when you have Maria Cooney, you know, you're kind of expecting them to get the job done. But look, Truagh Clonlara, they'll give it stocks, absolutely. It's their first All-Ireland final, but no, I fully expect Sarsfields to get the job done this weekend.
Yeah, I'd probably say Sars as well. Like it is probably the norm kind of a prediction, but I'd say Sarsfields will get over the line in this. But Truagh Clonlara have done well to get to this stage, but ultimately I think their run will stop at the All-Ireland final, and Sarsfields will get over the line in the Camogie final. So the intermediate and junior, just to mention it, is the intermediate final is between Askra Culture from Galway, if I pronounced that correctly, against Clonmorris from Kerry. That's on at 2 p.m. in Croke Park. That's live on the RT Player on Sunday the 15th. That's the first of a doubleheader in the Camogie finals day. And then in the junior final on the Saturday, the 14th of December at 1:30, it is Knockanana from Wicklow against Grainmore from Armagh. That's on in Dunamore Ashbourne at 1:30 on Saturday. So best of luck to them 4 club sides this weekend as well. So yeah, that is the end of the podcast. Thanks to Liam for coming on to the podcast today. Give the YouTube channel a subscribe, all that good stuff. Give the video a like, subscribe to the podcast, listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff as well. Thanks to Capture Athletics for sponsoring today's show. And until next time, next time will probably be a Christmas review show or something like that. So stay tuned for that. So until next time, we'll see you then, and take care.